Okay, now we're on to the movie What About Bob, the classic Frank Oz film starring Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. Now, what this movie is about is Richard Dreyfuss is a psychiatrist. He's not a psycho. This guy is who is visited by his a patient, one of his patients, who is trying to spend some time with a psychiatrist. The problem is the psychiatrist doesn't want anything to do with him. He just, it's like, hey, I'll see you in the office on Monday or whatever. It's just like, let's just keep this professional. But when Bill Murray needs some help, he needs some help, and he requires Richard Dreyfuss's assistance with his mental problems, but also he wants to be a part of the family, and he wants that companionship, that much-needed companionship that he's not getting elsewhere. It's based around the awkwardness of Richard Dreyfuss not wanting Bill Murray there, Bill Murray being clueless at this fact. He's just like kind of an innocent goof, and his family, Richard Dreyfuss's family, being endeared by Bob, and just looking at Dreyfuss like, what's your problem, man? Let the dude hang. Let the dude chill with the fam. What are you doing? So Richard Dreyfuss winds up looking like crazy and an asshole and insensitive and a bad everything, a bad family man, a bad shrink. And slowly but surely through the course of the film, he's losing his mind over this fact. And it's kind of an out there comedy. Some of the stuff that happens, a lot of it's just kind of grounded. It's like one long skit in a sense. That's the gist. What I just told you is basically what the movie is. And people love it. It was not well received when it came out. That's how I remember it. My two favorite Frank Oz movies are Little Shop of Horrors and Muppets Take Manhattan. But there are many Frank Oz movies that are great, like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, and I even didn't mind that movie In and Out. I remember going to see that when it came to theaters. His career is, let me think, mostly comedies. I know he did the movie The Score, which was, I believe, Marlon Brando's last film before he died. It was a heist film with Edward Norton, Robert De Niro, and Marlon Brando. And but mostly he would not do movies like that. Mostly he would do comedies and musicals or musical comedies. Mostly musical comedies. But yeah, he was just he's a talented guy. The voice of Miss Piggy, and the voice of Yoda, of all people. And What About Bob is a good movie. I enjoy it quite a bit. I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm guilty of that. And if a movie is completely free from my recollection, if I'm just like completely in the dark, I don't remember anything about it, then I will leave it off this list typically. But I do remember enough about this to keep it on the list. But I do feel like if I was to watch it again, they would probably bump up in this list quite a bit more. Richard Dreyfuss is great in this. He's hilarious. He always works in comedies. And Bill Murray is good too. He's not like the best he's ever been. This is a little bit different from him. This is like he's playing one of his numbskulls in this movie, kind of like, I guess, like the Man Who Knew Too Little, or I'm trying to think what else, because mostly he's kind of in control. He's kind of just like an asshole, an in-your-face asshole. He's kind of like playing like a nice guy in this. He's oblivious. He's annoying. He's just like, you don't want this guy in your life. Like, you see this and you kind of feel for Richard Dreyfuss more than anybody. But this is not your typical role for Bill Murray. He's not snarky in this. He's very sincere. He doesn't realize how annoying he's being. And it's a very interesting turn for him. But I think he pulls it off for the most part. It is not his, like, strong suit by any means. But and maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I'm gonna stick this one where I'm gonna stick it. I'm not gonna stick it in Memories Are Better, because I'm quite fond of this movie, to the point where I want to see it again. And I don't know what would happen if I check it out again, if it would drop down or drop up. But for right now, I'm gonna do the safe thing, and I'm gonna put it in Guilty Pleasure. All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it in Guilty Pleasure because that sits pretty well with me for now.
Feeling good, feeling great. In fact, I've never been to a beautiful day. such a changeless blessing when the